Out of storage. What? Hello. Hey, Mike. Okay, I decided that I wasn't going to do anything different today, so I am wearing my robe because I've been in this house for 10 days. I am hoping and praying that overnight it doesn't freeze and things like the snow and the ice like that thick. So I don't know. Is there any reason to get dressed? I don't know. It's damaging me. Trust me. Just being in this house, all of a sudden the time goes so fast, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? What's happening when you're kind of in your house all the time? Me and Sierra have gotten very close. Actually, we really have. It's been fun. Okay. I wore earrings and lip gloss, so that's what you got. All right, everyone. We are going to talk about how I just ripped my hair. Hang on, I got to find out where my notes are. Hello. Okay. All right. So are you are getting cabin fever? I am. But you know what, Mike? I mean, I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining. I'm off center here. Even though I am kind of complaining, but I've got my electricity, I've got heat, I have food. I think all the way through the weekend, maybe even into next week if something should happen, but it's supposed to get colder again. And, I don't want to have to dive into my prepper food, which is all the dehydrated stuff. Like I've got 2 buckets and a couple of other things that, I could live off of if I had to, but I want out. I want out. It's just a little bit insane. Okay. But I was watching Lila Rose. Was it yesterday? I don't know if it was like a new video that she had, but she had a priest on whose entire ministry is about helping other people hear God's voice, build that relationship, so to speak. And it got me to thinking like, well, what questions should we ask? He had 4 questions. I'm just going to run over them really quick. So the first one was, ask God, what do you call me? What do you call me? Now I think it's amazing because and I was like, what do you call me? What kind of a question is that? I'm sure it's like my daughter or something like that. Now, this particular priest was abused sexually as a child up until 11 years old and always carried this shame and this guilt, and he asked God that question, and God put on his heart and his head, innocent. I call you innocent. Now that just got me to thinking, wow, okay, well, I'm sure he's just not going to say you're my daughter, you're my son type of thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. Second one was, oh, are you kidding me? Third one was, what are the things that I need to work on? Like where and how is the evil one working in my life? What are my defenses? What is his attack? Help me understand. And then the last one was, okay, it's 2 out of 4. Okay. I wasn't planning on reviewing these. I was just trying to tell you where this kind of came from. And it came from this priest. And I thought, you know what? What do the saints say we can ask God? I know I keep talking about the teeth that I've gotten extracted and how I'll probably talk about it more on my podcast, but it's everything's shifting. My S's were good yesterday and now they're weird. I'm biting on teeth in the back that I shouldn't be. It's just crazy. So if I sound cheeky, I feel like I have a lot of cheeky kind of talk. I don't know. If I sound cheeky, that's why. All right. So there's different kinds of questions, of course, but we should always go in with that, like, Lord, I'm available. I surrender myself to you. Like, this day is yours. There was another prayer that I had mentioned from another priest who was sexually abused, Father Rehil. I just don't happen to know that other priest's name. And he says that we should pray the prayer, every single day. Lord, I give you permission to take over everything in my life today. And I ask you to give me the eyes to see your hand in it so that I can glorify you. That's interesting. Now, this one, of course, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. 1 Samuel 3:10. So it's really like, what do you want me to do today? How do you want me to glorify you? Is there something specific that you want me to do? And he's going to put things in your mind. He's going to put things in your heart. And you have to sit with them and go back and say, is this you? Are you done with that already? You're so tired, hon. Got it. Okay. He's so tired. All right, so this is a total posture of surrender. That should be like the first thing. Yes, we can pray the Our Father, the Hail Mary, get ourselves into the presence of God. We can offer up things. I like to start all of my prayers with, just giving him everything. Like, I give you my life, my breath, my dog, my house, my kids, my family. I give you my bank accounts, my investments. I give you everything. And then I picture myself with nothing. You know how you've seen those movies or TV where someone's standing there and they're in white background and there's nothingness around you? That's kind of how I approach God. I'm like, okay, I am nothing without you. I have nothing without you. You created me. And then I ask if it's his will to please bless all of those things so that I see how amazing this house is, how awesome my dog is, how beautiful my children are, all that kind of stuff. And then you can get in to the prayers. You could also do an act of contrition. I'm just telling you some things to do to get you into this presence of God, because it's not like you're just going to sit there, you're going to ask him the question in a car, and you're supposed to actually hear what he says, because he only speaks in the quiet, right? You have to be focused on God when you're asking these questions, by the way. All right, so again, that's basically my vocation is a child of God. I'm going to go around, share the gospel, and glorify you with my life, with my words, everything. You could also, St. Ignatius of Loyola says, what are you inviting me into right now? Show of hands, anyone gone through the St. Ignatius spiritual exercises where you discern between yourself, evil, and God? Very interesting. I would say go get Dan Burke's book, Spiritual Warfare. It's Spiritual Warfare. So get the one that says Spiritual Warfare on it. And you'll kind of learn all of the rules that St. Ignatius helps us with. Okay, so Ignatian discernment notices interior movements and invitations of grace rather than relying on external signs only. That's interesting. Interesting. I've never relied on just external signs. I've had a few, not nearly as many as internal movements, that time in peaceful prayer. And again, we have to just ask over and over again, Lord, is this you? And if it is you, I want more. And if it's not you, I don't want any of it. Take it all away. Yeah. Because, the evil one is there too. Hey, what? Where did you put it? You didn't even bring it back. Here. Yeah. Do you want me to get you a little treat? Okay, I'm going to confess she has not gone poop, so just telling you, she might get at me on that. Okay. So again, on the whole surrender thing, you can ask, St. Teresa of Avila says, where am I resisting you? Okay, honey, where's your ball? Where'd you put it? I don't see it. Go get it. Go get your ball. Where is it? Go get it. You got it. Did you get it? Yes, you did. Hold on. Whew. I'm getting hot in my robe with my light on now, so I kind of opened it up. Sorry, on the wrong stuff. So again, where am I resisting you? Okay, what does she say? She teaches that resistance, more than the lack of prayer, blocks spiritual growth and a deeper union with God. All these saints have different tips and tricks and ideas for us. Resistance blocks spiritual growth and deeper union with God, more than lack of prayer. And resistance is us saying, yeah, no thanks, God. I would like to do this my way, or I have this that I focus on. Sorry, that was my phone that I just knocked off. I lost my spot. Okay. So she's just, how many times do you just do what you want to do, even though you know that you shouldn't do it, and you're going to have to go to confession? I mean, that's like resisting the grace that God is pouring out for you. We're just like, talk to the hand. Yes, I believe resistance can be a real blocking force. It is. It is. And the more that you sin, so I've been there, I fall into sin. Maybe I can't get to, confession that day. Maybe the next day I have to wait till noon, and I'm in 5 a.m. prayer, and I'm like feeling guilty. Like, Lord, you don't even want to talk to me. And so I'm so pathetic, like it really does block this supernatural love that we have from God. I don't think we can, get it in our thick skull how much God really does love us, because we've never experienced that love. What, honey? Hey, don't bring it here. And I've been there, done that so many times. Hi, baby. Okay, so you can have questions of love, identity, and filial trust. What? Did it drop? Come on, man. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. I got it. Okay. Sorry, everyone. So you can ask questions of love, identity, and filial trust. Kind of like what that priest said. What do you call me, Lord? It's, how do you see me, Lord? So, by the way, this is St. Therese of Lisieux. The Little Way centers on identity as a beloved child seen with delight by the Father, no matter what. I just don't think we get it. How can God love us even though we do these sinful things? It's hard to wrap your mind around, because we're not that way. We are broken. Okay, St. Francis de Sales says, or de Sales, I don't know how you say that. What do you delight in about me? So St. Francis emphasizes God's gentle love and goodness of the soul. So God takes pleasure in loving you. I mean, he created you out of love. Think about it. Like, he thought and knew that the world needed one of you. I mean, how cool is that? That he created you. So awesome. Okay. Saint Catherine of Siena says, where have I forgotten who I am in you? So again, identity precedes mission in her theology. Knowing who we are in God unleashes fruitfulness. It's almost like you live for the audience of one. You don't care what anyone thinks of you. You're just focusing on God. And that's like the same freedom, knowing that you're a child of God. Maybe you're being attacked spiritually and you're feeling it from all directions. You're being oppressed. You have obsessive thoughts coming into your mind. And you could just sit back and rest. Call on the name of Jesus. Know that there's power in there. Cast out that evil spirit. And then continue to live in that peace. And don't worry. You know, I talked on my podcast, my audio podcast called Reality Reflections on Spotify and on YouTube. I have one that goes over to a video, but it's not a video. It's just, you know, my Reality Reflections thumbnail staring at you, and then you listen to me. But it was all about the future. And thank God on the day of the presentation of the Lord that we do not know our future. Can you imagine being Mary, hearing from Simeon, Saint Simeon, how Jesus was going to be the rise and fall of many, and her heart will be pierced as well? The early church fathers said that Simeon went into great detail about exactly what was going to happen to Jesus, her beloved son, God's son. Can you imagine this? Jesus is a baby. Now she's got to go 33 years waiting. Thank God. God has more compassion for us. But Mary and Jesus went through all of that suffering for you, for your soul. Now we just got to cooperate with it. I always look at like Jesus's life as, it's getting hot back here. So I keep pulling my hair up. Maybe I should have worn something else. Anyway, I always think about Jesus when I'm like, oh, what am I complaining about? Jesus went through his passion, blah, blah, blah. And yet Mary's been there, Our Lady of Sorrows, since my husband died and got me through it. I still turn to her, adding her to the end of my prayer on my podcast, because, you know, there's nothing quite like Our Lady of Sorrows, who truly went through everything and didn't complain, didn't whine, didn't moan, you know, did it because God asked. And the rest, I mean, can you even imagine? I just want like a little bit of that. I just want a little bit of that. Or a big bit of that. I'll take a big bit of that too. All right. St. John of the Cross. He says, ask the question, what lie am I believing about myself? That's a good one. False self-knowledge clouds the soul. Truth purifies and frees the heart for union with God. Gosh, we're so tough on ourselves, aren't we? I mean, I'm the queen of self-deprecation. That's actually a spirit, by the way. Self-deprecation is an evil spirit, and I always go there. I'd rather pick on myself and put myself down to make other people feel comfortable or something. You know, it's just crazy. That's how I've always been. You know, I've always made fun of myself, perhaps maybe to make fun of myself before other people make fun of me. I don't know. It goes way, way back to kids' age. But do I believe those things? You know, like I'm never going to be holy. I can't pray. I can't lose weight. I can't work out. I can't be this loving person and accept these people in my life that have hurt me so much. I can't be selfless with my husband, my wife. I can't be an evangelist. I don't know enough. I mean, oh my goodness, when I got into ministry, are you kidding me? I had no business going in ministry at the time when I did. I mean, I thought I knew enough, but whoa. And still, I mean, come on, we're all going to be learning until the day that we take our last breath. But I will say that, I'm just going to leave that one there. We'll move on. Okay, so then there's questions of healing, purification, and mercy. I'm going to come back to this. Saint Raphael, the archangel, in the book of Tobit said, Lord, what needs healing in me right now? What needs healing in me right now? So Raphael is sent specifically for healing, spiritual and physical, and is invoked for interior restoration. Saint Raphael, I have the oil. Thank you, Karen. She's not here. I don't see. And gosh, this is feeling big today. Ah, okay. So I'm just looking at this healing stuff, and I just think about myself when I'm asking God, and I'm not asking God. I'm like, Lord, thank you for healing me. Will you heal me? I don't know if I've ever prayed that. Will this go away? I've asked that with other things, but with my healing, I just kind of do the old, if it's your will, and thank you. Like a lot of people say, pray with that confidence. I mean, the book of James says it, if we just have enough trust in the Lord and just pray without doubt, right? That's why I kind of thank him for healing me. But you can also pray to St. Raphael. So Karen gave me the lotion and not the lotion, it's like olive oil with rose petals in it. And I have to carry the card around me because there's a lot of things to pray. This is reminding me to do that. Okay. Another one from St. John of the Cross. What am I holding on to that is not from you? To possess all, desire to possess nothing. That's from St. John of the Cross. That's a quote. So again, it's like detachment from everything. It's essential to the journey. And that the more that we let things go and we like give them to God and we feel that release and we're seriously not worrying about it, I mean, it just brings you closer to him because you're talking to him and you're giving it to him and you're asking him in. What am I holding on to that is not from you? Mike, sorry, I just realized I forgot your question or your comment. Often people are their own most prolific and unrelenting critic, no doubt. For sure. And you know what? The more we think about what other people are thinking about us, or the more that we beat ourselves up or we wonder what other people are thinking about us, we just have to get over it because everyone else is thinking the same thing. So nobody's thinking about you. They're all thinking about themselves and what other people are thinking about them. I mean, it's like this weird existence in life until you truly do understand who you are as a child of God and you just don't give a flying rat what anybody else thinks. I should have said a flying squirrel. At least squirrels fly. All right, St. Maximilian Kolbe, what fear is keeping me from trust? His total entrustment to Mary demonstrates trust overcoming fear, even unto martyrdom. So if you remember, St. Maximilian Kolbe was murdered. He gave his life so that another man in the concentration camp could live. So what does it say about a friend who would die for their friend? Why am I not remembering this Bible? I think I'm like crossing it with like a normal saying. Sorry. I don't know. Very weird. Here's another one. Questions of mission, service, and fruitfulness. St. Teresa of Calcutta. Who are you asking me to love more intentionally? So discernment always leads to concrete acts of love directly in front of her. So again, these are great. I'm going to read them real quick because they're all kind of different topics. Okay. Lord, here I am. What do you want me to see today? What are you inviting me into right now? What part of my heart are you asking for? Where am I resisting you? How do you see me, Lord? That's a good one. What do you delight in about me? Where have I forgotten who I am in you? Why lie? What? Why lie? Well, we shouldn't. That's not at all what it's. What lie am I believing about myself? Lord, what needs healing in me right now? What am I holding on to that is not from you? Where do you want to pour mercy? Oh, I didn't do this, St. Teresa Kowalska. Where do you want to pour mercy? So divine mercy spiritually invites Christ to touch the darkest places of the soul. The darkest places. What fear is keeping me from trust? Who are you asking me to love more intentionally? And then the last one, I mean, it's just all in all, we're supposed to be servant leaders. So we're supposed to serve. Jesus proved how much he was serving other people. He didn't come here as a big old king. You know, he came into this world in a manger where the animals eat. Or he's bread and we eat it. And it's his real body, blood, soul. But I digress. All right. I don't know. Have you guys asked any of these questions? I'm curious. And you should ask them again. I'm going to go over them one more time. Pick out one. Pick out one that you like. Okay? Lord, here I am. What do you want me to see today? What are you inviting me into right now? What part of my heart are you asking for? I didn't do this one either. This is St. Augustine. What part of my heart are you asking for? In the book he wrote, Confessions, Augustine continually examines disordered loves and asks God to reclaim what has not yet been surrendered. I'm sorry, I missed that. Where am I resisting you? How do you see me, Lord? What do you delight about in me? Where have I forgotten who I am in you? What lie am I believing about myself? Lord, what needs healing in me right now? What am I holding on to that is not from you? Where do you want to pour your mercy? What fear is keeping me from trust? Who are you asking me to love more intentionally? You could also do, like, how can I serve you today? I think that's so broad. Oh, my eyes, guys. If I can get out of my house, I'm going to the ophthalmologist to talk about this thyroid eye disease that I have that I didn't even know that was its own separate disease. I don't have it. I'm going through it. Yes, I have asked, how do you see me, Lord? Awesome. Did you get an answer? I'm totally probing. But I'm curious, did you get an answer? That would be inquiring minds want to know. That's pretty cool. I haven't done most of these. Like, how can I serve you today is probably it. What are you inviting me into right now? Yeah, I don't phrase any of these like that. I am a work in progress. That's what he said. Did he say that, or did you mistake the answer? I love you, baby. Okay, so if I'm not getting any comments, here we go. My ADD keeps me from sitting and actually listening for an answer. Okay. I'm not laughing at the ADD thing. I think everyone, honestly, has ADD when they're praying. Except for those mountaintop times, when you're in a season, you're up here and you are looking forward to prayer and you can't wait to get prayer. I can't wait. And you just sit you dive in. And you're feeling these beautiful consolations, Then it's those times where you're like, oh my gosh, I got so much to do today, but I got to pray. And your rosary is so distracted. You're not waiting around for the answer, right? You're just being bombarded. And honestly, it could be you. And it's most likely some attacks, because the evil ones do not want you to have any relationship with God. They're going to do everything in their power to totally distract you from being silent. And that's the hardest part, like waiting. There have been times where I'm like, what is going on? And I know it's God. Because I'll just sit there and I'm like, Lord, what am I not doing? It had to do with this Graves, hyperthyroid stuff that I'm going through. And I said, I just want you to tell me. I said, just please block everything out, everything out. I said it out loud. And then I sat there, and I'm telling you, I sat 5, 7 maybe minutes. No thought was coming into my mind. No thought. None. Not a word, not a color, not a distraction like, ooh, the light's bright in here. No word came into my mind until I heard, take the medicine. And I was like, come on, I don't want to take that medicine. And then you argue with them, right? When you hear it, you're like maybe not happy with that answer. So, Mike, neighbor gave me a sweater made from hemp, and I asked, should I wear it or smoke it? Hey, I think hemp is really good for you in terms of like the energy. You know how I mentioned 250 hertz or 2,500 hertz or something like that for linen sheets and things like that. Polyester is 0. And I do believe that hemp is pretty up there. Laura, I'm a work in progress too. I'm with ya. We're all a work in progress. But it's hard. It's hard. But you know what? It's very durable, apparently. Yeah. I do believe that we had a lot of things that were made out of hemp back in the day. I don't know why they took it out. There was, I don't want to talk anymore because I'm not sure. So I'd just be spewing a bunch of perhaps lies, and we don't want that. I'm waiting for an answer to my prayer for my depression and anxiety to lift. Okay, Laura. Excuse me. Have you cast out the spirit of anxiety and depression? Because there are 2 named spirits. There's a spirit of named anxiety, and there's a spirit named depression. There's a spirit named fatigue. There's a spirit named ADHD. So by the way, you might want to cast the ADHD out as well. ADD and ADHD. They're in there. Oh, you have. Okay. By what? Saying in the name of Jesus Christ, I bought. And are you still doing it? Because unfortunately for me, on one of them, one of the things that I felt like I was being completely attacked on, I did it once, maybe twice. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's not working. And then I don't know if it was my spiritual director or a different priest. And they're like, just keep going with it. Just keep at it. Keep at it. Make sure you say it out loud because that's key. I'm sure you probably did that, but they can't read our mind. Thank God. I do it when I remember. Okay. And you know what? It's good that you're not just, I did it once and it didn't work. Let me see. Okay. Totally unrelated to, where are you in the world? Are you sun? Are you winter now? Only reason I'm saying this is because there's a lot having to do with circadian biology that can depress people, because when we're inside our house, we're under attacking blue lights. This is why all my lights back there, over there, whoops, over there and over there, whoops, everything's opposite that I'm looking at right now. Those are like yellow-orange lights. I have this big, massive light in my face for this video, but otherwise, everything is a circadian light bulb in my house. I don't have blue light. I just have stuff on my phone and my computer. And you can buy like blue light blockers. But if you can get out in the sun, like as often as you can, it does actually reset your circadian biology. I don't know if you've ever been tired. I've been this way, and I'm like, I'm just going to go sit out in the sun for a little bit. And it is like you just recharged yourself. You get up from laying in the sun and you're like, wow, I don't feel tired anymore. something to consider, because I started with it's really hard to do in the winter. It's, really hard to do it when it's raining, but light moves, it comes through the clouds. And I haven't really done it that much in this winter. And I can really feel it. I think I'm in South Texas, but we've had gloomy days and it really drives me crazy. Yeah, girl, don't give up. And maybe that's something that, ask God something about this. Like, do you want me to go do something about, is there something that I can do about this that you can point to? There's another thing. There's the food that we eat isn't, we've been looking at macros and the, chemical makeup of the food and how it impacts our biology. But food is like energy, and it's a light source. And that's why in this circadian quantum biology type of world, hold on, I got you. Why did you drop it in here? We're almost done, babe. Hold on. Anyway, the food that you eat has light. This is why, like in the winter, we really should be like, when you live in Texas, you're a little bit cold too, but you should not be eating, pineapple in the middle of December, because your body, it doesn't match, because your body's constantly looking at light, trying to determine what time it is. What? Come on, you have to give it to me. I go down to reach it and she grabs it like a little snot. Come here. I love you. She's been so cuddly. So she's in heat right now. I have a blanket on this. And I'm waiting tomorrow. I'm supposed to get washable diapers for her, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get them here because I can't get up my driveway. Maybe I could just shove it in my mailbox. Anyway, so eat locally and seasonally and get out in the sun as much as you can. Yeah, Mike, it's called seasonal. Whoops. Hold on. Sad, the more exposure you have to light, the better you feel. Amen. And it's the same in the summer, She wants in on the prayer talk. You know what? When she sees me putting this up, she's like, oh, come on. She was actually curled up on my bed when I was getting ready. And I'm like, you can stay in here. I can make you go night-night. Okay, so we got this. I'm going to pick one of these. You want me to read them again? Or am I being ridiculous reading these again? I just think they're good. Lord, here I am. What do you want me to see today? What are you inviting me into right now? Sierra. So it's like, okay. What part of my heart are you asking for? Where am I resisting you? How do you see me, Lord? Maybe that's a good one, Laura. What do you delight in about me? Where have I forgotten who I am in you? What lie am I believing about myself? Maybe that's another good one. Lord, what needs healing in me right now? What am I holding on to that is not from you? Where do you want to pour your mercy? What fear is keeping me from trust? Who are you asking me to love more intentionally? And where can I serve you today? Yes, you said yes. I don't know what that was from. Karen, girl, where you be? Hi, Kendra, had to go to church and just got back now. Sorry, you're stuck for 10 days. That's all right, girl. That's why I'm wearing a robe, because I figured, it's like, what's the point? Just kidding. What lie am I believing is a good one that struck? Yeah. I don't know. But the saints are good. The saints are helping us ask the questions that I think we need the answer for. What fear is keeping me from trust? I don't know. They're great. What am I holding on to that is not from you? I love it. Okay, so How do you receive it then is the other piece. You know, like, okay, I'll ask the question 100 million times for the next year, and I don't know if he ever said anything. You know, it is a moment where Lord, at this time, I mean, this is all speaking out loud. Lord, at this time, I do not want any interference. I only want the Holy Spirit speaking to me. Block out any distractions in the name of Jesus. I bind the spirit of distraction because there is one. You know, you just keep shoving it out, and then do your best to just listen with your heart. It's different than like listening with your ears and your mind, you know. It's like you're just like, okay, Lord. And then whatever comes into your mind, a thought, maybe you're one of those awesome people that hear a voice. I don't. Then let it sit with you. And in your mind, you say, Lord, is this you? If it's you, I want more. If it's not, take it away. If you say that out loud, then the devil hears you and they just make it happen again, you know, because they don't want it to be taken away. So that's a conversation with you and God in your mind. Okay. I love these questions. All right, I'm going to do it again because there's a lot. All right. Lord, what needs healing in me right now? What am I holding on to that is not from you? Where do you want to pour your mercy? What fear is keeping me from trust? Who are you asking me to love more intentionally? What lie am I believing about myself? Where have I forgotten who I am in you? What do you delight in about me? How do you see me, Lord? Where am I resisting you? What part of my heart are you asking for? What are you inviting me into right now? Lord, here I am. What do you want me to see today? Quite right. Discernment is very important, especially spiritually. Oh, yeah. And I don't know, just be patient with it. You might be surprised. Tomorrow you might get up and be all jazzed about it. You know, Lord, you're like, all right, I'm going. I'm going to ask this question and I'm going to sit in that spot and I'm going to just commit to it. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you just say, I'm giving God this 30 minutes and I'm not going to do anything else. It's a struggle because you're going to want to grab your phone. If your phone is something that you don't pray with, put it in another room. Maybe you have a pet or kids or something that's, you know, probably going to distract you from it. So it's a matter of getting up, being quiet, sitting and being patient, I guess. But you might be all excited because he might be talking to you tomorrow. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. Any more questions, comments? Just going back. I don't know, Mike. Did you answer if the Lord said that you were in a work in progress? We're all works in progress. I mean, none of us is there. None of us is there. Okay. Because if we don't ask the right questions, maybe we're going to make the answer, you know? What are you doing over there? Anyway, okay. I'm sorry. A little distracted. I'm going to get this one to bed. I love you guys so much. I want to hear what happened. So you can come back to this video if you want. If any like a breakthrough comes through, that's like, hello, that's evangelization. You know, like shout about it. And if you have a spiritual director, that's helpful. If you don't, I do faith coaching, but that's something that someone can help you one-on-one discern what's going on. Do I have the gift of discernment? I don't know. But in the end, when you go through it and you talk through it with someone who just wants the best for you, you know, because sometimes we experience something, we're like, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. And then you talk to someone else, and they ask a couple of other questions, and, you know, you're back to square one. So, yeah. He did mention that. Pretty much everyone is a work in progress. I love that. Okay, cool. All right, everyone. She's getting edgy. Got to get her outside. I love you all so much. I'll see you back here next week. Find something more with God, soul, mind, and body. Our Lady of Sorrows, pray for us. Have a blessed